Hello, hello. How are you? Hello, Shanna. Hi, Danny. I think I saw you in Crafty Stamp Co.'s Coloring Live, which they had done one recently. You may have seen the showcase on my channel. I did a bunch of cards using their new stamp sets. It's from Movie Monsters, and this is from Movie Time Meadow. So, and I use sparkly things. Elizabeth would be proud. Oh, Elizabeth is here. Hello, welcome. Anyway, I guess this is a spoiler. So this is not the Halloween card that's in the package that's coming Monday. But you have a Halloween card or something from Elizabeth, and happy mail from myself and others. But I figured I'd open the cards first. This is from my aunt. I'm not sure what it's for because I don't think there's been a specific holiday. But we have some cool cats. So it may just be an anything card. Oh, it is a birthday card for the cats, who technically have spring birthdays, but they are more than happy to celebrate at any time, as am I. So, regardless of when you think of that, everybody likes birthday cards whenever. Yeah, so this was, maybe I'll send you this one. You'd probably actually like it. But this was cookie dough lunar paste. So as you can see, it's very. I did this in cream, and it was just boring, and also with the same color as the sentiments, which these aren't in any of these are Crafty Stamp Co. everything except these sentiments I made on the Cricut because the sentiments that were. Oh, Lennox is here. If you see the camera move, he is right that way. But I wanted to do like a B movie homage, so these I just made on my Cricut Joy, which is really good for sentiments. Which is a good tip, like if you really love a stamp set, like you can always make your own sentiments, or as Elizabeth often does, just leave them off entirely. Also, if you're catching me on the replay, I know that the Kendra's Card Challenge hop is going on presently, so if so, you may pop in later. So anyway. I thought we would do Craft Roulette again because I have fun with it. And I figured we could get into this 13 Days of Craftoween because many people have shown it on their channels in its entirety now, so I don't feel bad about opening it and potentially ruining it. And I also have some Scrappy Tales paper from last year. But we have a card from Elizabeth and then some happy mail from Crafty Stamp Co. and some happy mail from me to myself, I guess from my bank account to me. So it's from Elizabeth. Whatever could it be? Oh, and I want to show you this before I show you the card. But I believe this is I'll just cover the address, but I think this is Nancy's Papercraft, the poinsettia that I have never used, but it's almost that time of year again. In fact, for many people, it's been that time of year for a while. Hey, Jim. Good to see you. Yes, Lennox is here. He will be providing creative assistance. We have a Meowie Kitmas. Oh, that's perfect. Oh, and I think that's a Crafty Stamp Co. kiddo. Greetings. Last year I didn't get my wintry cards out, so this year I'm going early. Thank you, Elizabeth. How fabulous. We've got some washi tape, I think, going on here. We've got a shiny red cardstock as well. So that's really nice. And some really pretty coloring. And coloring is definitely the highlight. Whoa, there we go. Very cute. I don't know if I have the Maui Kitmas one. I do have the Catoween ones. Actually, I just got those. They're basically pumpkins and cats. Let me see what you were saying. Lennox can inspect the things. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I didn't tell you about my advent calendar. So I picked the Brutus Monroe one to try this year, and we'll see how that goes. It's a $50 12-day advent calendar, so I'm hoping for good things. But the Spellbinders one is like $55 for 25 days or 24 days. I think 25 days. So and it's postage theme, so I don't know. I shouldn't buy the Spellbinders one, but I might. Anyway, if you saw this on my channel, this is all the paper that was in it. I really, really like. There's this cool newsprint. I like all the distressed papers that are in this particular pack, but this one I didn't craft at all with in my showcase card, so I'm really interested to play around with it because it's got some great like typography paper, and I just adore that. It's a lot like, it might be on my desk somewhere, but there was a vintage Halloween that also is really good. I think vintage Halloween might be on clearance now because it was last year's paper pad. Anyway, so we have all those. We have lots of Halloween paper. And a cat, Booty. But hey, we at least have our desk mostly. We just have a foot. We have a footer that will. We have an assisting footer. But yeah, I like their paper a lot. I like that they don't do cutesy Halloween. Speaking of, I spent too much money at Scrappy Tales. Let's see how. So I recall that I had told you guys, like, I'm definitely not buying any Halloween stuff this year because it's like, you know, Halloween only is here for a season and then it's gone. Except not really, because it lives on in many people's houses all year round these days, which my mother has mixed feelings about. Let me get scissors. But I picked up some of the new stuff in their new release, and this was all my money, just FYI. So if you care about such things. But I thought we would see things. We have a bag. It has something in it. We have a spooky bag. Scrappy Tales also is a highlight, I think, because it has... it's got spooky, like really, like legitimately spooky stuff, and it has cute stuff. I'm mostly out for cute, but I mean, I think there's a definite spot for spooky. But what's in the bag? It feels like an embellishment. I think this is the freebie die set. Now, normally these freebies you can only get as like part of the release, but this one is actually going to be reproduced because if you look at the size of these ghosts, and these are like happy ghosts, but they're still kind of spooky. So anyway, I think that's actually for sale right now, but don't quote me. If you run into, oh, and we got an embellishment mix too. Oh, this is cool. Look, Elizabeth, green. This green, purple, and yellow is very, very witch's brew. Like these would be really cool to put on like a cauldron or something. In fact, I think I have a cauldron stamp that would work well for that. And then we have a pizza. Just kidding. So they have so this is a gazebo because they came out with a Halloween add-on. So of course I bought it, but it's very non-specific. So basically you've got your plate with a door and a window or two windows. This was originally for their, what am I thinking of? For their, I'm spacing on the name of it. It's like an English wedding kind of vibe. So this is the base. So you can technically make this a collapsible card, but basically you cut out this is kind of like the lantern where you cut out 4 of these and then this is the roof. And these are the overhang dealies that you fold down. But then you can make it better because it comes with, you can get spooky things to put on it. So we have spider webs, we have cobblestones, we have skulls and crossbones. As you can see, we have not so happy looking jack-o'-lanterns. With the smaller pumpkins, she's done a lot of these, like, you do the outline in like black, right? And then you can just do the other thing in whatever color you want. There are many bones, more bones, brooms, you know. So we have a spooky, that may be just a ad hoc pop-up. And then the other big thing that's new is this guy. This guy. Oh, and something else. Oh, the characters that go with this guy. Okay, so this guy basically makes a tunnel card. You have a decorative piece. You have just the flat, like a flat back, if you just want to do like an insert. And then you have the winged piece that basically has a cat meowing at you. And I think this, I'm pretty sure that there's, yeah. So this is just a light emboss, basically. Oh, Kaiser's running around, but it makes a tunnel card. It comes with some spooky bits like these spooky curtains and candelabrum and whatnot, but you could also turn it into other things. And then I picked up the characters that fit very nicely. Oh, the one thing that's really cool about this is that this dimension is slightly less than 6 inches. So you can, if you don't use the spooky curtain, you can cut out like an inset piece. And then you can use the back on the back. So you could do this in white and do this inset and do this piece in whatever your base color is, and then do like some partial die cutting to cut out an inside piece and then stick that in if you want to use your other things. I also got the characters that fit very nicely, but this is pretty narrow. It's like 2.5 inches by like 5.5 tall. So like pretty much any of your sort of tall, skinny characters work. And then there were other things in the bundle that, there was you also got a spooky staircase if you want to go Halloween. But basically these small die sets are the thematic ones, and everything else is reusable for non-Halloween things. I really want to try cutting it out of craft and doing more of a fall one. What? Hey, Cordelia, how are you? I was distracted looking at... Yeah, that's the problem with this Scrappy Tales release. You're like, well, I don't really need a bundle or Halloween stuff, but I could use it for other things. Actually, it's like Gothic cathedral themed. So like it would actually work really well with any of the new paper I showed you. But particularly like this movie stuff, I could see it as like Art Deco movie theater. So I may do that because it would be a cool card. Anyway, let's make something, because we've talked about things I've spent money on for far too long. And Shanna, as you saw, is here. She is doing some cool embossing folder stuff starting at the top of the hour. So let's talk about Craft Roulette. I thought we could. So it's a card for a nerd. And I thought, in keeping with our Halloween theme, I have many nerdy friends who are very into Gothic horror. So I don't think the Spellbinders kit will be Gothic horror, but I was thinking that there's this really cool... I thought we could cut this, and then whatever our thing is, potentially, could be... If it's a flying thing, this would be perfect. If it's more of a not flying and stationary thing, this wouldn't work. But that was my initial thing. And my thought was we could bring in some purple around the edges, because the colors were beach colors. And this really reminds me of a beach sunset. And of course, it's dark at the beach at night. Oh, hey, Anne. How are you? Welcome, welcome. Good to see you. Oh, I'm glad you're doing well, Cordelia. But that was kind of my thought for that. This is semi-gloss, so it's actually pretty easy to blend over. Although it's also easy to get on your hand if you don't let it dry thoroughly. But kind of like not too shabby or the Crafty Stamco papers. It's very blendy friendly because of the coating on it. Where like if you are like me and tend to be kind of a heavy-handed blender, some of the more porous papers like, the Neenahs and the Bristol Smooth. Bristol Smooth has a similar thing, but anyway. Let's see what's in our kit. because it's hard to figure out what our thing is. So the random is animal print, although people have claimed that a print of an animal is an animal print, and our background already has bats, which are definitely an animal and a very Halloween adjacent animal. So if you're here when I was disappointed that like I didn't get to undo anything because it fell out, we don't need to worry about that. So we have our little day folios, which are all dies. Spoiler. Well, I don't know if they're all dies, but many of them are dies. So we can, I guess we don't. Oh, they're all individually wrapped. So I think Spellbinders did a nice job with this packaging. These are all individually wrapped, but I'm pretty sure they're dies. So we'll take out day one. Hopefully it's not a raven. Well, a raven has a hip. Do birds have hips? If anybody knows, feel free to let me know. They definitely have their leg plugs into something, which is probably close enough to a hip. We got some sparkly bits that you saw before and some sentiments that we may need. Happy Halloween is a good one. There's some about monsters. Hope your Halloween is to die for. That would be a good one for a nerdy crafter, actually, because you're using a die. Anyway, we could use that. We also have other sentiments we could use, depending. So let's see what our thing is. And I like that they actually went through the effort of making specialty packaging for each day. I think that's a very nice thing to do. Hi. Sir, could you scooch, please? Yeah, thank you. And we have our desk back. So I think people know what this is already, but it might be a surprise to you. So if you don't want to know what these are, feel free to not watch the rest of the stream. But okay, so let's see what we have. We have a vampire who's pretty big, actually. And we have teeth. We have a something. We have hands. Oh, this is a tongue. These are teeth. So we could cut these out of white and then just color the tongue and do something like this. So I think we need white or cream. Looks like they did the fangs in cream, actually. And I think they glued the fangs to the back. And then we have our head. So yeah, I think this will work. I think it'll work with our Haunty Housey bit pretty nicely, actually. If I can find that. So I think this would be... I don't think we actually need a sentiment on this. Like, I think that'll just be pretty cool like that. So let's do that. And this is small enough that I can cut it out on my Sidekick, I think. So score there as well. So we might actually be done on time, even though we're starting with 40 minutes left. Coffee. Oh, thank you for buying me a coffee, Anna. Anne. I was going to call you Anna, but I don't know why. Probably because it's Ann with an E, but thank you very much. I appreciate it. We all like coffee. The insert shows how to put... Really? Oh, I see. I see. It shows you how to put it together. Oh, that's clever. Well, I think this would actually be good to store together, too. And I like that they did that. They've done this before where they've kept generally pieces that go together on the same die, like the hands and the face. And then they also are giving us some etched lines. I think I want to do them in like a warm gray, though. Like kind of like this gray. Oh, this is the card. Oh, these are the other... These are two of the other Crafty Stamco cards, but I'm thinking like this gray would be very nice. And then We definitely probably need a purple in keeping with our sunset colors. But let me just cut down the background panel and see if we can't get a little bit of purple on the edge before we get too far and get distracted by die cutting. I kind of want all the sky, so I think I'll do 5 1/4 this way. If you're not familiar, because of the way this paper gets printed, you don't actually, the actual paper size from Scrappy Tales is slightly bigger than an A2. Anyway, I think I want gray for the base and the dude. But I have gray. Yes, I do. I like this gray a lot. It's fairly, it's sort of it's a warmer gray, so I kind of like that. Oh, the colored photo. Yeah. I mean, that is nice. I feel like they did that. They've been doing that with their Christmas Advent calendars too, I think. Which is nice because then, like, if you put this in a bag or somewhere, you can store it with the, what does this thing actually look like? Because I definitely like it when companies do that. Because I forget between times how all things like that work. Although I haven't cut a card base in half in a while, so I mean, there's that. Small wins. Oh, here's my bone folder. I have 3 bone folders, and I like the Cat Scrappiness ones the best, but somehow I often lose one of them. Anyway, top fold in A2. We have our little panel. I think this will look great. I want to bring some purple in because I think I'll use some purple in our vampire. Let me see if I have. Yeah, I think this will work. Pretty sure I have purple. What's that purple? That's not the color I want. Oh. Maybe it's on my desk. It's not. Oh, here it is. It is. I always feel like sunsets on the beach are kind of purple. So let's add a little purple. I'm going to start over here just because I don't want to. And see what I mean about how easy it is to like blend down on here? It is one of my favorite things about working on paper. And then I'm going to just come back in. Unlike sort of like working on Bristol Smooth, like working on this kind of paper, the paper is not really going to absorb a lot. So anyway, I just wanted to tone our background a little, which I like. It looks almost sepia-ish. This also isn't going to dry super fast, so I'm going to leave it to the side while we go and die cut a bunch and put our dude together. So, what do we need first? We first want some gray. And there are my plates next to me. And we have some remnants of white, which I think will come in handy. Plates. Here's some plates. And a sidekick. And not losing our dies, which we didn't. But I think we're gonna and I think we can go in and color his shoes gray, a darker gray than the gray we're using right now. And that'll work out. like if I had given myself a little bit more room, this would have been easier, but hey. There we go. So like all Spellbinders dies, this basically cut perfectly. I don't think we need him again, but while I'm thinking of it, let me just grab a Nuke N9. Just give him shoes, basically. There we go. A little shoes. You could also, actually, we could also just cut. Let's color his whole. I don't know. Do I like him with gray legs? I kind of want to color his whole legs, so I think I'll do that. Let me grab purple, actually, since we're going to use purple. This is obviously going to like. Well, it helps if you use the right end of the thingy, but this is going to mute out a lot. Kaiser says hello. It's going to mute down a lot, but it will also, but it did give us sort of a definition between like pants and not pants. So what do we need next? So we have his arm. We have sort of his shirt bit. We have his head and hands. And then we have his teeth and his mouth. I think I want to do a bunch of this out of a white remnant, if I can find one. This is probably good enough. Although I don't quite like the quality of the paper. Here we go. This paper is still a little on the thinner side, but I think it'll be fine. So, see if I am missing anything. Yes, I do. We're still talking about the photo, so that is good. Put his head down and his teeth down, except I almost threw them, and that would have been a problem. And we can either, well, why don't we use the same marker color and just like cut out we can cut out his shirt. We can cut everything out of white and then color it basically where we want to color it, because obviously some of these things will stay white. Which isn't a thing I do much, but it's really good if you're doing characters that have a bunch of pieces and you don't want to like futz around with 17 kinds of, 17 different colors of paper. So we have pretty much everything. We might have lost a hand. I'll leave this other hand in here. We have the tongue. We have the inside of the mouth, which we probably want to make a darker color than this. And we have, did we leave a hand in here? We did leave a hand in here. Okay. That's a good thing. That's why we need our Poke Tool to not lose things. This is also kind of the thing that you would probably we're going to need to use. Some actual pickup tools to deal with because they are super small. We did get we've got some nice cutouts for the eyes, which I appreciate. So I don't think we're going to need to do too much here. And then if we want, we can color his hair. So the other thing we could do is just color most of this a darker color and then not really have to deal with that piece. So let's do that. So we have our tongue, we have a hand, we have a fang and a shirt. But I think we can just go back in with our dark marker. This is a T7, which is a slightly different dark marker. But you can tell basically, oh, this is going to work nicely. You can see the lines here. And his ear is going to be on the white piece, so we should be good there. And then I think all we have to do is color in his mouth. And I don't think we have to be particularly careful with this because we're going to layer the other piece over it. So we can just check out how that looks quick. Yeah, so I think that will work out quite nicely. Looks like we might need to do the hair a little bit more. Let us. Yeah, I think that'll work. We're going to lay the teeth in the back. I think we could do color a little more up more, just in case. Hey, Jana, how are you? I'm actually using my things. I know it's a surprising thing, but so I think we want to put his shirt on first. Yeah, that's about right. There's a little more hair. We probably should color a little bit more of his hair, which is kind of interesting. Because it's like he didn't. Anyway. Let's just. I guess we could color almost his whole face in. Let's give him a little more hairline. I think we're good. Although I think his head goes over his shirt, so I want to do his shirt first. But yeah, I think that'll work out. And how do we look on our background? We look like we're just living our best life with our bat friends. So that looks cool. And I am very happy about that. So let's work on the shirt. And I will say these dies cut very nicely. I do think Spellbinders does a... Oh, hello. The cat is climbing Jacket Mountain. Because whatever season it is, I always seem to have excess jackets on a particular chair. Oh, you have our fangs. Let me move him. So we have more actual sticky stuff for some of these other pieces. Although I will probably rehouse these to a magnetic sheet at some point in the future. So I will put that there. Have our secondary hand, but just grab my marker and make a purple shirt. Yes, he is. He is living his best vampire life. And because we use this paper, we have our animal print. You could actually probably give him animal print. You could give him an animal print shirt, which would be kind of fun. We could put some spots on this and do like, maybe I'll do that. I kind of like that as an idea. Like, you know, I'm a vampire, but I like cheetah print. Purple cheetah print, which I don't think is a thing. Well, I don't know. Let us know in the chat. Is purple cheetah print an actual thing you can buy? But I think we can just go in with a marker and just sort of stipple this a little bit. Give him sort of a leopard print shirt. He's like a very 70s vampire, I think. Okay, that's kind of fun. He's like the 70s vampire who's been just sort of hanging out. He's ready to go to the disco. Anyway, there we go. So we just have to get his shirt on, which I don't think we need anything special for. Assuming I can, here's my glue. Assuming I can find my glue, this would be a very challenging thing to put together without glue. I'm definitely going to need my cat scrappiness pokey sticky thingy tool. But I do like, the nice thing about these Spellbinders dies is they do have, I don't know if they read on camera really, but they have etched lines as to where the things go. So it's pretty easy. And then basically the hands just go like that. So this one will go there. And again, we can look back at our reference picture. It looks like in the reference picture, they actually glue the shirt over the hands. So oops, but we will make do. I'm sure it will be fine. And here's my picky up thing tool. It's seen better days, but you know. There we go. That worked out pretty well. We will punch out our other hand. This is actually a tip Sabrina shared from Scrappy Tales, is like if you're working on small things like this, if you actually leave the die cuts in your original, in like wherever they came from, it will generally be easier because you can, if you leave like the fangs and the mouth part together, it's a lot easier to tell where stuff came from. The fangs I'm going to leave white. I think the fangs glue behind his head, but we can check that quick. There we go. Yeah, so there's no fang per se. This, the line piece here does not show. So I think. Hello. Oh. My Kaiser is very interested in the Scrappy Tales packaging, apparently. So this is the backside. So I'm just going to go in like that. And just do ever so lightly. Make sure we don't glue it to the mat because that's kind of a problem. But there we go. Now he's fanged. We just need to find a nice red to give him a nice red mouth and not drop the tool we need in a minute. There we go. Often for things like this too, I like reds that aren't quite like Ladybug red. This is something else. This is EO7, so this is probably falls into that category. Hey, what are you doing? He likes to chew on paper strips for some reason. It's really quite fascinating. I think I want to put his head on before we put the tongue in. Yeah, I think I want to put his head on because then we can figure out where we want the tongue. Of course, if you did this the other way where you used a cutout here as opposed to just sort of putting it together the way we are. If you didn't color and just used a die cut, you could probably figure that out pretty nicely that way too. Okay. And this is PVA glue, so it'll dry matte and be pretty much okay. But here's our little guy. Woo. Anyway, I think these spellbinders folks had his tongue sort of in this area. So let's try that. And if we don't like it, you can always use sort of the pokey end to like pry it off, but I think it'll be fine. If it looks really weird. Yeah, there we go. Whoop, there we are. And I want to try, I got glow in the dark paint. So I want to try making glow in the dark cardstock to use basically to start with like a thin paper and then go from there. So I think we did pretty well. He's just a little bit more 70s than the original. But I do like the gray cape. Because everybody likes a cape. Just put this in my bin of things. It's kind of hilarious. It is hilarious. I am enjoying it. So I think all we have to do is put our card together, which should just come together pretty lickety split. Whoop. If I can find my tape. You could also glue this. This kind of stuff I do like to use a decent amount of tape on just because it is shiny, so it can be a little bit of a pain to work with. There we go. We have our thing. Now, I kind of like him coming away from the castle, so I think I'll just put him kind of here to balance out the bats because he's just having a fun time. I kind of like that. And you could, of course, pop him up on foam if you want to, which I might do. Yeah, I'm thinking foam will work well here. If I have my foam. Oh, I have the foam tape that's as big as my head. Oh, and coincidentally, this is Cat Scrappiness makes this huge ephemera. This is the Nutcracker from last year, but her big ephemera I think would work well on that new Scrappy Tales die. So we have here they are. It's like I've once again lost my sticky scissors, but because I kind of tend to do that for reasons unknown. So we definitely want to put some foam behind his head. I think something kind of in this area. Yeah, I think that'll work. And I kind of want a little piece for over here. I might just cut this. You can't really see that. I also cut this one in half. There we go. I think that'll work. Oh yeah, I like that better. I think this is going to be fun. These are fun dies. They're cute Halloween, but they definitely have a lot of interest. So I do like that. Whoop. don't really want him to overhang too much. I think he can just be here. I like that. Okay. So there we go. There's Halloween Day 1, our finished card. We have our little fun vampire dude being really excited in his animal print shirt. Oh, she is eating dinner. But yeah. So I like that. Well, we have a little extra time, so let's do an inside piece. Because I've got a bunch of cream. Except this is white, so that'll work fine too. And we could use one of those new stamps and try that out as well. So why don't we do that, since we have 12 minutes, and stamping something shouldn't be too bad. And the nice thing about stamping on like one of these inside pieces is if it doesn't work out, you can just throw it out and start over. If I know where I put my stamp wheel, here it is. Whoops. Craft Avalanche. Okay. Issue averted. So let's. Here are my spellbinders. Stamps. Happy Halloween, I think, would work really nicely. And we could do it in purple. Trick or treat, you're so sweet. Hope your Halloween is to die for. Oh, let's do Creeping It Real on Halloween. I like that one. That's a fun sentiment. Yeah, so it's a card for a nerd. So we're doing someone who is a nerdy horror person. It is beach colors, which I did sort of a beach sunset vibe. We have a hip, and Dracula has a hip. And animal print is on the shirt. So we hit all of our parameters, I think. But let's do Creeping It Real on Valentine's Day. And if you don't stamp correctly on a Halloween card, you can claim that it's just spooky, not that you jacked it up. That's my helpful tip of the day. So anything a little bit off center is perfectly fine. Although stamping upside down is also generally not helpful, but Keeping It Real this Halloween. I like that. That's a fun sentiment. And this is dye-based ink, so that's stamped really nicely. I'm not mad at that. We will put it over there and clean up and then get it added to the card. Because we have 9 minutes to do that, which is more than enough. There we go. Oh. There we go. Whoop. Just clean off our stamps. If we were on the right side, that's easier. There we go. I do like this this Glam Purple. I like a lot. It's very plummy, but also fairly saturated. So that is really stuck down. There we go. But I like that they gave us a whole bunch of sentiments for this kit, for countdown or whatever you want to call it. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 4. So we got 14 sentiments plus some sort of the little inside ones and stuff like Boo that you could actually use to make a background out of. So pretty nice kit, I think. I'm quite happy at the sort of value for money for the whole thing. There we go. And now we can get that inside. And this is really the only pro or con, depending on how you feel about it, of these colored card bases. I think they really add a lot, but you know, you do basically wind up doing a panel like this on the inside, which I mean can be, I think adds something to it. So I'm not opposed to it at all. And I just think colored card bases are nice. Anyway, so this is our final card. Let me see if I missed anything from you. He said, oh, thanks. I like this page. I think he worked out pretty well. Did talk about getting all the parameters. He is hip. He's many kinds of hip. So it's a card for a nerd. It is beach sunset colors. We have our purples and our yellows and oranges, but more purple than orange. We have many hips, or many types of hips, and we have a random print. So I think we are good to go. This week, I don't think there's anything super duper. I don't think there's anything happening, at least schedule wise, until next Sunday. But we may change that at some point. I do want to play with those Grabby Tail dies pretty badly. So if I do that, I may do that on a live that'll be a little more rambly and all that. Yeah, I've started almost always using a colored card base just because I like the way that the color on the edge can really, like, if you use the same paper elsewhere in your die cuts, like, it really pulls it all together. So I'm a big fan too. Anyway, so this stream will end momentarily, and then you'll get kicked over to Santa's channel, and she's doing some stuff with embossing folders, and I will join you there in 5 or 10 minutes. So until next time, I hope everybody has a fantastic rest of their week.